Hi, welcome to my channel and thank you for visiting. Let's move on to passage 3, another IELTS reading. But before we proceed, you need a copy, a hard copy or a soft copy of the passage so that you can highlight the context clues that I'm going to show in the slides. Okay, question number 27. The purpose of the first paragraph. So here, it tells you already where to find the answer. Is to answer D. Outline a common assumption. In paragraph 1, you won't find the word common assumption, but you will see popularly believed. If you believe, you assume, and if it's popular, it means it's common. Many people believe. That's why the answer is D. 28. What are the writers doing in the second paragraph? In paragraph 2, you will see this word we. So we refers to the writers. Now, criticize is usually negative. However, shows contrast. Misrepresent shows contrast. So criticizing an opinion, however, we believe that it largely misrepresents the real nature of scientific discovery. That's why the answer is A. 29. In the third paragraph, what do the writers suggest about Darwin and Einstein? The answer is A. They represent an exception to the rule. Here, setting aside. When you set aside, you exempt it. Okay? Exception to the rule, you set it aside. Such as Darwin and Einstein here, Darwin and Einstein, whose monumental contributions are duly celebrated. We suggest that innovation is more of a process of trial and error. So again, writers refer here. All right, trial and error. Why? Where 2 steps forward may sometimes come with 1 step back, as well as 1 or more steps to the right or left. Let me explain that. What is the meaning of 2 steps forward may sometimes come with 1 step back? It means that you are making progress, but you are experiencing some problems along the way. So you have to step back and find solutions to these problems. And stepping back causes some delay. That is the meaning. So if you are making progress and you still experience some problems along the way, so that means it's more of a process of trial and error. You try this, if it works, then it's okay. You go on. You go ahead with what you are doing. Otherwise, if it doesn't, then you try again. You try another way. That's why it says here, as well as 1 step more, as well as 1 or more steps to the right or to the left. Okay? Now, 30. John Nicholson is an example of a person whose idea, answer is C, laid the foundations for someone else's breakthrough. Who is that someone else? That someone else refers to Niels Bohr in paragraph 4. What John Nicholson thought was true is not actually true, but someone else, Niels Bohr, took off from what Nicholson said, and then he came up with his now famous model of the atom. So that's why the answer is C. 31. What is the key point of interest about the AC/DC stirrup placement? The answer is A, the simple reason why it was invented. It refers to the stirrup and what happened because the one who made it suffered a leg injury, so he just was trying to find a way where he could turn more easily with an injured leg. So he came up with this kind of stirrup. 38. Acknowledging people such as Plato or Da Vinci, as geniuses will help us understand the process by which great minds create new ideas? Well, the answer is no. Why? Because it says in paragraph 8, these notions, what people think, merely label rather than explain the evolution of human innovation. It doesn't help us understand. It only label, it doesn't explain. Here, look at this word, merely label rather than explain. Only label and not really explain the evolution of human innovation. So this contradicts this statement. That's why the answer is no. 33. The law of effect was discovered at a time when psychologists were seeking a scientific reason why creativity occurs. Well, the answer is not given. Here in paragraph 9, it says the law of effect was advanced by psychologist Edward Thorndike in 1898, some 40 years after Charles Darwin. But it doesn't say, there's no evidence that at the time psychologists were seeking a scientific reason. It doesn't say. This paragraph doesn't say. It was only the law of effect. This paragraph only tells us that the law of effect was advanced by psychologist Edward Thorndike in 1898. That's all. That's why the answer is not given. 34. The law of effect states that no planning is involved in the behavior of organisms. The answer is yes. Paragraph 9 tells us the law of effect involves an entirely mechanical process of variation and selection without any objective insight. No planning. No planning is involved. Yes, no, without. No planning is involved without any objective insight. That's why the answer is yes. 35. The law of effect sets out clear explanations about the sources of new ideas and behaviors. The answer is no. Why? Because in paragraph 10, it says here, the law of effect operates is not as clearly known as that of the genetic mutations. No clear, it says here, clear explanation? No, not as clearly known. That's why the answer is no. This one contradicts this statement. 36. Many scientists are now turning away from the notion of intelligent design and geniuses. The answer is not given. It says here, many scientists are now turning away. Look at what it says in paragraph 11. The time seems right for abandoning the naive notion of intelligent designs and geniuses, and for scientifically exploring the true origins of creative behavior. The time seems right for abandoning the naive notion of intelligent designs, but it doesn't say that many scientists are turning away. No, it doesn't say that. That's why the answer is not given. To abandon is to turn away. That's right, but it doesn't mention that scientists are turning away. The time seems right. Now, from 37 to 40, it's a gap fill exam. The traditional view of scientific discovery is that breakthrough happens when a single great mind has sudden F. 37, the answer is F, inspiration, where conventional wisdom also places great weight on insights in promoting breakthrough scientific achievements, as if ideas spontaneously pop into someone else's head, fully formed and functional. Inspiration, sudden inspiration, spontaneous pop, spontaneously pop into someone's head, all of a sudden, no previous, no precedent. It did not previously, there's no planning. It suddenly it suddenly comes into someone's head. So sudden has sudden inspiration, spontaneously pop into someone's head. 38. Advances are more likely to be the result of a longer process. In some cases, this process involves 38 mistakes, such as Nicholson's theory about proto-elements. In paragraph 4, Nicholson was wrong about the presence of proto-elements. They do not actually exist. So, if there is a mistake, then something was wrong. 38 mistakes. 39. There is also often an element of E, which is luck. For example, the coincidence of ideas that led to the invention of post-it note. You know, post-it note, we use it every day. So, where do you find the answer? Well, the passage doesn't give you the word luck, but it says plenty of other stories show that fresh advances can arise from error, misadventure, or also pure serendipity or a happy kind. Serendipity is something that happens coincidentally. When my students were answering this, somebody raised his hand and asked me, what is serendipity? And I just said, oh, it's a coincidence. I didn't realize that coincidence was actually in the question. So yeah, coincidence, serendipity. And number 40, with both the law of natural selection and the law of effect, there may be no clear 40 goals involved, but merely a process of variation and selection. Yes, here, paragraph 9. The law of effect involves an entirely mechanical process of variation and selection without any objective in sight. Another word for objective is goal. No clear. Without any objective in sight. No clear goals involved. Okay, so that ends our reading for today. If you have any questions, please write them on the comments below. And if you find the video useful, subscribe and share. Are there any questions? Thank you for visiting and see you in the next video. Bye.